All right. Hey, everyone. Emeka here from my self-publishing blueprint.com. And in this video, I got a very, very special guest, Jake, Jacob, is it Rothenberg? Did I say it right, Jacob?
Yeah,
Rothenberg.
got it. You
And
got it.
he's a member of my self-publishing blueprint, one of the very first students to, I believe, take the course and also he just surpassed a little while ago the $1,000 a month in passive income. So, hey, Jacob, welcome to the channel, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me on your channel, Emeka. Appreciate your time and the opportunity.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, so let's kind of dive into it. I want to go through, what your experience has been with Kindle Publishing. For those of you who obviously they don't know you, they don't know what your story is, your background. Can you shed some light on your experience so far?
Sure. So unlike most self-publishers, I actually didn't get into Kindle Publishing to make money at all. Kind of fell into it as an accident. To rewind a bit, I actually started in January webmastering for my own website for a powerlifting blog. And I had researched that I can develop a sales funnel by publishing ebooks on Amazon and just providing a hyperlink to gain traffic. Even from a free preview, people can still click the hyperlink, access your site, and so on. And that was one method of gaining traffic. And I did that, established a few ebooks that way within a month. And in time, within about 2 months, I noticed that my earnings were exceeding my Google AdSense earnings on the website. So it's like, maybe I'm onto something here. And with that, I then compiled a bunch of my articles into a fully fledged ebook. I made about $200 for the month of March.
Hmm.
And then I started watching your channel and gained some more momentum. I think back in March and April, you were still in the works of setting up your course.
Hmm.
So I stayed diligent with just watching your videos, following the guidelines you sent on you, started writing out more books, got some more success, and fast forwarded to May 2nd, second day your course was out. I bought it, and it was history from there.
Awesome, awesome. So you were making a couple $100 before you took the course. How did your income change afterwards after going through my self-publishing blueprint?
Okay, I actually have my income memorized from month to month, so I'm more than happy to tell my viewers exactly how much I made. January, I made $2.60. February, I made $26. March, I made $209. April, I made $352. Bought your course on May 2nd. In the month of May, I made 374, and that's when I was still trying to gain and learn the fundamentals of what you're teaching, putting it into practice while also having to spend some time actually developing and publishing the books. And from May, I went over to June. In June, I saw more success, and I went from making 74 a month to 880 a month. So that was a nice spike. And then
Sorry, it
last
cut
month for
out
the
there. In June, you made how much?
$880.
Okay.
And from there, I made my first $1,000 from Kindle Publishing, mostly accelerated due to your course. And for the month of July, that's when things exploded, and I believe I made $2,152, literally nearly tripling my income 1 month.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What were some of the big takeaways you would say that really helped spike your income up over the last few months?
You know, it's common knowledge that keyword selection and keyword evaluation is everything. People say that it's about 80% of the equation with determining sales and profitability. I would go as far to say it's about 95% of the equation when it comes to overall potential and ability to make a lot of sales off of
Mhm.
one book or a series of books, what have you. But along with that, the bigger picture of things is what you've really been teaching as more than just simple tactics, but more so a philosophy of how we should go about self-publishing, which is in that we publish well-written books written by native English speakers. Now it costs a little bit more, but you get what you pay for. We put out high-quality books, I don't put out 40-page bullshit ebooks,
Hmm.
trying to sell a sales pamphlet for 2.99. I put out full length 100-page, 130-page books that offer real, actual value to our customers on Amazon, and that's how I've been ranking higher, and making money that way. Just making the initiative to not treat this as a get-rich-quick scheme, but more so treat it as a real business where we're offering value to customers on Amazon.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And how many books would you say you have out right now published on Amazon?
In total, I have only about 15 or 16 books out. Five of them haven't made a single cent, and I don't really count them at all because they were just 16-page ebooks I put on together from the very start of my tenure. But I don't have very much books out right now, but the books that I have out are doing pretty well in comparison to prior to starting the course.
Excellent, excellent. And you said you maybe kind of give a bit of your background. So you started publishing books because it was something you were looking at doing for your powerlifting or that type of that type of thing. And you recently got an interview with, was it a newspaper, or because of publishing books?
Yeah, actually, I was published by an online media site called the tab.com. They're based out of the United Kingdom in the United States. And basically, they're a site with about 11 million readers a month, supposedly. And they were able to find my life story, actually, from one of the books I had published related to powerlifting. And they thought that the little excerpt of my life story was compelling and published in media.
What was that last part there? It just cut out there. The little excerpt.
Okay, the tab.com thought that my life story would be compelling enough to publish overall in the media related to powerlifting and how I started academically at a young age.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, what are some tips or advice? I know you are you're probably one of the most influential and helpful individuals inside our Facebook group. What are some tips, some pointers, some guidance that you could give other people who are either considering getting into self-publishing, they haven't really jumped the gun and committed for whatever reason, or people maybe they're starting but they're still trying to find their feet, so to speak. What are some tips you could give them?
Okay, Emeka, I have nearly every member in the course PMing me for advice and people outside of the course PMing me for advice on Facebook about what to do. And I see the same fallacies, the same missed tactics done over and over again. I mean, apparently everyone wants to save the whales and publish a self-development book, and I find that noble and all, and that's great. But I'm in the bookstore right now in my local Barnes and Noble, and if I showed you the self-development section, it literally spans hundreds and hundreds of books on one aisle. And so with that, how are people going to find your self-development book amongst the midst of others who are from big box publishers, Tony Robbins, etc. So stay away from those saturated niches. Self development, um, cookbooks, not a great idea when you're starting out new. One, I'll be very candid, and I'll even admit one keyword that I got into last month that I bombed on. It's really hot right now in the world, Bitcoin.
Hmm.
Uh, just if it's too competitive, just stay out of it and try to be more creative with your approach on how to find a niche. Spend your time researching on Amazon, using the course guidelines you give exclusively on my publishing blueprint for keyword research, and that really makes a difference overall in finding and evaluating profitable keywords on Amazon.
Awesome. So really just making sure that you are finding the right keywords and not jumping into the ones that everyone else jumps into, because it's not that those are bad keywords or bad niches, but for brand new publishers who don't really know what they're doing, for lack of better words, it's just it's too big. It's like trying to swim in the deep end before you're learning how to float.
It really is. It really is. And I think every publisher is going to, if you can say, bomb out the first two or three books that they publish. I mean, there's simply that learning tax you have to pay and learning the whole process of how this works, learning somewhat of how the algorithm works and how the whole Amazon system operates in general. So I say, just get your feet wet. I would advise people to budget about $1,000 or a little bit less, actually, to just get started with Kindle publishing. Starting out, I was not, how do you say, a publisher. I was more of a to have my own books on Amazon for powerlifting, and that's how I got started. Didn't invest a single penny other than the covers, and I made money that way, despite it not being a profitable keyword, so to speak. Just get started writing. If you can't really afford $1,000 to start out, just find a way to get in, and you'll learn throughout the process.
Hey, how much are you spending on your books? When you say $1,000 to start, that might, scare some people. I know I didn't have $1,000 to start. I started with like I think about $300 or something. But how much are you spending on your books, or maybe how much were you spending when you started? How much do you spend now?
Okay, in Emeka, prior to the course, I was doing everything wrong when I tried to do self-publishing and ghostwriting, outsourcing. I used to go on Fiverr and try to have my stuff done for $50, thinking that for 1,000 bucks I was just getting the awesome deal, despite the fact that I would have to spend literally days editing, proofreading this piece of shit that I get back from some guy in Nigeria. No offense to any Nigerians.
Right
It
here.
just didn't work out too well. Oh, hey, what's up?
Continue,
Oh
continue.
shit.
It's all good.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
So you were going on Fiverr
So,
and going
uh,
cheap, and
yes.
that wasn't really panning out for you.
No, and I'm actually ashamed to say that on air right now. But
Yeah.
I imagine that a lot of self-publishers and self-publishers to be trying to save a little money and trying to teach their own. I understand that.
Hmm.
Now I work with many. I work with a writing company. Uh, I learned to have access to this your course, self-publishing blueprint, and it made all the difference working with professional US-based writers that are able to write about just about any topic you need. Um, and I'll be honest, I have a master's degree, and I consider myself a pretty good writer. These guys write better than me. Uh, Recommend enough. I'm just so grateful to learn this your course and special discount that members receive. I think that's awesome. So, I pay about nowadays anyway about $300 per book. I'm pushing, books of substantial length, about 12,000, 30,000 word books, real books, not sales pamphlets. And while that's a considerable investment, maybe if you're starting 9,000, 10,000 word book and work your way up. But eventually, you'll hit it big and you'll be able to make money back and hopefully profit after that soon.
Awesome. So you're spending anywhere from about, it sounds like, around the $300 mark right now for your books, which end up being about 12 to 15,000 thousand words.
That's right. Yeah, and in
Excellent.
fact, writing companies are great for scaling. Likewise, when you work with a ghostwriter, you're kind of tied to that writer's ability to produce and their scheduling, where it might take them 2 or 3 weeks to write one book.
Hmm.
I'll tell you, I went on the writing company that we work with in our course, and I put out for 5 books, spent about $1,500, and they're all supposed to be ready by the 15th. So that had me launching and going, and much and I were working with just a single ghostwriter on Upwork or wherever else. So I'll be scaling a lot faster once this starts up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And the now you're building an email list
I
with
am. So
books.
far, I have one subscriber, and it's me
Okay.
testing out the list. But it's a development in progress.
Development in progress. All right. All
Yeah.
right.
I'll work on it, man. I swear I'm doing it. I bought the AWeber.
Perfect. Hey, what's the fastest you've had one of your books turn a profit? Do you track that? Do you know?
Of course I do, Mecca. Of course I do. Uh, my best selling book to date, I invested about $120 in, made the money back in 10 days, and that was in mid June. Uh, Up to now, it's made me about close to be fair, $1,500. And that's the number one bestseller for a keyword. It's number one ranked book, and it continues to make me the majority of my sales today.
Excellent, excellent. So some of your books are less than $300. Um,
Yeah, that was the exception to what I just said.
okay,
It was for a general children's book where you're allowed to have a shorter length book and get away with it. So that's
gotcha.
fair.
Okay, so
Yeah.
some niches it does vary, of course, on length and really just what the market kind of demands for, whether it's a longer book or, like you said, I know I have some kids books. They are shorter just because they're for kids.
Like with everything in Mecca, you really have to develop a strategy for any niche that you go into. I mean, I'm not in the Barnes and Noble here for the hell of it. I actually come here about once or twice a month, just look at books, try to get ideas for keywords, see what's trending, see what's popular right now with big box publishers, see what's being pushed by big box publishers, seeing what's saturated, what's underexposed, and getting an understanding of consumer trends and consumer. You can, yeah, you need to have a knack for that if you really want to scale this to a true, business full time.
Do you use Google Trends or anything like that to check potential keywords?
I do use Google Trends, and that helped me so much with my number one selling book and being able to how the income will be in a given month out from now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And what are your future plans with publishing? How for the month of August, how many books do you want to come out with? Where would you like to see your income grow to?
Okay, sure. So I'm waiting for one book to be finished by the writing company that we use in the course. Be able to gain some traction. To be honest with you, it's really hard to pitch more than 3 or 4 books published a month. So I'm trying to take on more, but I forecast being able to make about maybe 28, 2,700. After I get the next 4 books after that completed, I should be able to hit things out of the park. And I'm not going to jinx myself, so I'll just say for the month of September, make at least $3,000 a month, if not more.
Excellent. Hey, and last thing here is I want to know, did you shop around for other courses? Were you looking at any other things? Why did you decide to go with my self-publishing blueprint over the other options that are out there?
And Mecca, to be honest with you, there are no other options. We're talking about courses that are relevant and pertinent to how Kindle publishing are done in the year 2017. I consider all the other courses currently out there to be outdated with antiquated information. People dominance as a result of loopholes, aka illegal exploits, and that's not what we're about, man. Uh, I just find that your course teaches not only the simple procedures and tactics and steps towards self-publishing successfully, but just the overall philosophy is done right, and that we put out quality material. We're able to stay updated with everything changing on in Amazon and Kindle publishing. It's so dynamic. And I didn't really do any shopping around. I mean, your course is only $97 for goodness sakes. I mean, I made that 30 times over already since the month of May. And I'm wrong.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking some time to chat here today, and yeah, looking forward to getting another interview with you when you hit your next big milestone.
I'll let you know how when that is, man. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Take care.